Good afternoon, guys. It's about 1:28 and it's January the 20th, 2025. And I am actually sitting outside because it's Martin Luther King's Day. So I am sitting outside making myself, first of all, enjoying this sun all day, every day. Yes, God. And second, I'm making myself some lunch. So I literally am piecing something together, which I'm known to do. And the majority of the time, the shit be good. Okay, so don't get it twisted. So I literally only have these three ingredients. This is what I have, you guys. I have these three ingredients that I'm getting ready to pull together. So I'm just going to go ahead and do my little avocado, add in a little bit of salmon, and I'm going to add this Miss Tabitha. If y'all don't know about Miss Tabitha, she's got a cook line. She's got like she cooks vegan food and stuff like that. And she has this salad mix that I really like that they sell at Target, and it's the only reason that I went into Target was to get that, because otherwise I wouldn't have went in there after the last experience I had. And once again, I'm not boycotting the entire brand. I'm just not going to that particular location. But I went to that location so that I could grab it, and I did end up getting it, and it was good. I'm a little mad that they don't have the hummus, though. The hummus was good, and it was seasoned and everything. It was nice. Because usually I have to season my own hummus and, you know, the whole nine, but whatever. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to make myself, I'm mixing this together right now. I wish I had some little crackers or something that I could add to it. I just got my little, I don't know who else does that. That's how I take my avocado and, then I just kind of squeeze it from here. And I just add it on there. I've got my salt and my pepper and stuff. I'm gonna do some fresh cracked black pepper and some pink Himalayan salt. And that's pretty much it. And so anyway, I'm hopping on here really just because it's a beautiful day, and I just feel like, and I'll have my other half later. I'm just having a half of it right now. And then I'm going to top it off with some of the salad dressing from Miss Tab Salad. The pre-salad mix is really good too. I had I think they're either cranberries or cherries or whatever they were. I had that this morning just on the go because I was like, oh, I totally forgot that I had this. So I was like, well, shit, you know. So I'm just going to add a little drizzle of that, and that's going to be, oh, that's so good. Oh, that is so good. I think it's like a strawberry vinaigrette or something like that. It's really good. And I'm going to add my little leftover garlic that I had in my beet juice. So that's my little garlic there. That's at the bottom of my beet juice. And I'm about to add that in there. And I'm going to eat that. And I know I sound crazy. You're like, what the hell is she making? It's going to be good. I ain't even worried about it. It's going to be good. So anyway, you guys, before I get to putting some seasoning and stuff like that on here, I really wanted to say something in reference to, it looks really good actually, in reference to one of my other videos that I made in reference to me not being married. I am not married, and as far as I know, it's extremely illegal to marry someone without their knowledge. I've never had a husband. I've raised my children as a single parent. I've never had anyone come to my rescue for shit. I've always had to save myself. The only reason that I'm going through what I'm going through now, and I've been going through it for such a prolonged amount of time, is because the surroundings, my community has been advised to blacklist me. And I truly believe it is they have been instructed by, people who have a little bit more of an upper hand as far as an allyship or an alliance or whatever. So they're just following suit. Um, you know, I'm seen as someone or a group of people at some point felt like it was necessary to tear me down. So, they found out what community I had landed in, and allegedly advised everyone to, not help me. At that point, I had already been employed. I had two jobs. I was a supervisor at a designer department store, and then I was also a visual merchandiser for a major, I want to say home goods, but it's really home decor and furniture store. So, and I have a background in luxury that stems back almost 20 years. Well, actually 10 years. Um, but my career past is neither here nor there at this point. So, I was harassed off my jobs. House was broken into, so I left there so I can take my children to a safer place. We had the next place lined up, and the next place fell through as soon as we were about to move out. I believe that that was also, um, a part of the plan as well, because later on I started to realize that it wasn't just the immediate community that was involved in this harassment. It was also it was the county, it was the state. It was way bigger than just the city or the neighborhood that I was staying in. I am not a nuisance. I'm not a menace to any form, in any form. I just came here so that I could work and return to what it is that I love to do after staying out in LA for about 2.5 years, almost three. And I decided that I wanted to design an app after, I didn't get a chance to complete the UX UI design course to get a certification, but I ended up moving on from that course and gaining 5 new certifications on my own. And working independently really worked better for me. So I decided to design an app. I designed it, I put it away, and then, did my wireframing and, and the site mapping and everything that I needed to do. And then decided that I was going to outsource and hire a team to help me develop the app. Because as far as coding was concerned, I knew that coding was something that I had grown to love. Um, Back end development was something that I really grew interested in, like really. And but it took more time, and I didn't feel like I had that much time. I wanted to develop my app and then start shopping it around. And so when I got here by accident. I was actually on my way to see my mother because she had been missing for about 2 years. No one had heard from her, and I found out where she was. So I was on my way to see her, and my car broke down on the way, and that's how I ended up where I am. And so, and my mom, when I talked to her on the phone, she was like, well, baby, that might be the Most High. Listen to Jehovah, stay there. I'm okay. Go ahead and do what you need to do. Invest in yourself. You always, you ain't never been scared to work. My mother loved to say that. She's always been so proud of me working, because I've been working since I was like 12, And, she's like, well, you could just work and do whatever you need to do, reach your goals. I'm gonna be okay. You got plenty of time to come see me, get you and the kids established, and then we'll arrange something. And so, that was Mother's Day of 2021, by the way. And it's been a really tough road, since then. But we did end up staying. I found an apartment. I found a job within a couple of weeks of being here, and everything was going really well. I was putting money to the side, starting with my first check for my app. I was going to self fund everything, and it just seemed like little by little, little shit was happening, and it was strategic. It was like you could just tell that it was strategic. Like somebody else was working this shit, behind the scene to sabotage what I was trying to do, and and it's been a downward spiral ever since then. And so it's made me feel quite discouraged at times, but not so discouraged to where I felt like I needed to, like give up or anything like that. Like, absolutely not. I never felt like that. It was just like, gosh, let me try a different way. And then all of the, just the regular, mundane, traditional setbacks that I grew to know started to evolve into, okay, now we have, she's going to be looking for another job. So let's go ahead and take her into, let's try to push her into this direction. Well, I don't want to go in that direction because I know what works for me, and I already had a life plan when I got here. I had a life plan in LA actually, but there were a lot of blockages, and unfortunately, it just didn't work out for me there. I hear that it did work out actually. It was just somebody was painting an illusion to try to make it seem as if it didn't work out for me, but it did, from what I understand. Like people started to, I gained some visibility. I, people were asking questions about, who that person is or who is this person. I just didn't know because I was, still looking for a job and still, hold on, you guys, let me do this. Oh, excuse me. Yes, it's a no makeup day. And so I just didn't know that that's what they were saying because this is coconut oil on my skin, you guys. I'm just trying to, I'm out here trying to get the most out of the sun, honey. Yes, God. But anyway, so there were people asking questions and things like that, which I didn't have a problem with, but I didn't know that that was all happening. And so, from what I understand, um, that prompted some people to act as if they knew me or to act as if they had been working with me, when in actuality they didn't know me and they had not been working with me. I hadn't worked with anybody, and I think that it was for money. I think that it was for money. I think that it was, to come up. I think that it was, to be malicious toward me. I think that it was honestly just like, oh, she's a nobody, or it's worth us, lying on her likeness or her name or whatever the case is, and then we can clean it up later after we get whatever we want to get, right? And so I think what ended up happening, this is just my observation. I think that eventually, after they had done enough digging, they realized that I wasn't a nobody. I was just low key, and I've always been that way. But my family, and when I say my family, I mean me, my four mothers, my mother, my grandmother, my great grandmother. Um, we're a little different, and we were taken advantage of, and it happens every generation where they kind of bank on us not knowing who we are. They bank on us being trusting and leaning on the hope of not being like the previous generation and hopefully doing it better, or conquering life better, than the previous generation. And it's always this, well, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna help and I'm gonna be this and I'm gonna be stronger and I'm gonna be, and it's like at every generation they find a way to exploit us. They find a way to demean us and degrade us. And they have in turn, in that practice, they have in some ways diminished a bloodline that is it's quite special, you know. But this is what we hear about. We hear about this in our history books. This is not a new thing. So once I realized that that's what was happening or had happened, I had already been established. I got myself back into my apartment. I was saving money. I was, literally just trying to get up enough money to hire a team so that I could build my app and start shopping it. And I think that people picked up on the fact that that's what I was trying to do, and they started to block me and cause problems, and that did discourage me. So I started to focus primarily on just working and just putting money to the side, because the place where we were, even though it was an apartment, it was not my apartment. I was kind of like in a way, um, I think you could probably call it something like maybe like bridge housing, because it was a temporary space, but it was an apartment. And I was only supposed to be there for, up to, I think, 6 months. And that was more than enough time that I needed, to do what I need to do, pay a little bit here, and then save my money, develop my app, and boom, go ahead and now we rolling. You know what I'm saying? I've never been incapable. I've always been competent, and I've always been able to to develop what it is that I want to develop and carry through on my plans. However, I have been sabotaged repeatedly over the years. This looks so good. I can't wait to tear into this. I'm looking at my food, you guys. But my seasoning is underneath where I'm recording. So I'm going to record this first and then I'm going to season my food. Anyway, give me a second. Let me put the top on this. Put a little lid so that we can keep the avocado from browning. Hold on. So, there we go. Okay, wonderful. So anyway, the trickle down effect started when I was kind of forced to walk off of my job. And then I went to my second job and I started to increase my hours. And then there were issues with management there. They were causing issues there. You know what? The sun really is, y'all. Hold on one second. The sun is in all of its fabulousness right now. So I started to get, harassed at my job. And so I decided to leave my job. And that was a really tough decision for me because I really, value working. And I valued saving money and putting money to the side because I already had the plan in place. And this was 2021, 2022. And so after I walked off the job, I didn't walk off the job, I gave them enough notice, but I went on ahead and did what I needed to do because I realized that it wasn't a healthy environment for me. And I also realized that, it wasn't an attitude like I could do better. It was just like, no, I'm not up for this kind of a thing. I want to make sure that, wherever I'm working, I want to be in a positive environment that's healthy for me, that embraces me and helps me to grow and gives me room to further develop my skill set, as opposed to just feeling so stagnant and kind of like, So anyway, moving forward, you guys, that's when the impoverished chapter of our lives started. And a lot of things started to transpire during that time. From people putting the wrong kids around my kids, influencing them to do drugs and alcohol and all kinds of shit. Then my kids growing up into being teens, and then meeting different types of teenagers, and just being wrongfully influenced, like truly improperly influenced, because they weren't raised in a household where they spoke the way that they ended up speaking, or they acted or behaved the way that they ended up behaving. And I started to see a change in my children, and it ultimately resulted in all kinds of dysfunction that I didn't raise my kids like that. My kids weren't used to that type of shit. And I started to see like certain things creep into our lives, and I just wasn't okay with it. And so now where everybody is everybody's leading their separate lives. But I would have it the way that it was, which is my children being with me and me being able to, help them in whatever way that I can, making sure that they're, pursuing their education properly, making sure that they're taking care of their health, making sure that they're eating right, making sure that they have a supportive environment, a familial environment that truly uplifts them and loves them and wants to see them win, not the type of environment that will sit back and watch you fall or contribute to your downfall, in secret, or will act like they're supporting you and, oh, well, we're your family now and this and that. And next thing you know, your ass is over here on somebody's stripper pole or some shit. And they over there like, yes, girl, like, hell fucking nah. That's not no goddamn family. That's a group of people who's been watching your downfall, and they have contributed to your downfall, and they just playing their position. Okay? that part. So, but ain't nobody ever gonna be able to take the place of your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, the people that really, really give a fuck about you when you all was raised in the same household and you all were raised with love. You weren't raised in dysfunction. You were raised with love. You were raised in a proper household. And I know because I worked my ass off to make sure you had it. Okay. And even the things that I came up short on, we made sure that we overcompensated in different areas, psychologically, mentally, emotionally, to make sure that my children knew that they were loved. So when people talk about my parenting because of what has transpired, this is all by design. It's not big. It doesn't. That's why you don't see me really speaking too much on it, because I don't feel bad as a parent. I know I've done my motherfucking part. You feel what I'm saying? I've definitely done my part, but I also recognize that you know life is life and for everybody, and we gotta kind of let that be what it is. And I've got to work on me so that when my babies need me, I can be there for them, because I'm still there. I'm still here for them. They're part of the reason why I'm still in this position right now, because I won't move forward until I know that mine is good. And right now, nobody is good, including me. Let's continue this on part 2. I'm going to have my lunch, and I'll talk to you guys on the next one.